In our time together this week, I'd like to dedicate this weekly message to Pastor Craig Groeschel and the series that he's been doing about his upcoming book, The Power to Change. Now, this recent message hit me hard because, quite frankly, I believe a lot of us go through this. And his message was simply this: stop the negative self talk. Oh man, that just hit me right square between the eyes because Pastor Craig Groeschel opened up his message with a couple of questions. And these are the questions that I'd like for us to think about this week as we look inward and we look inward and we look inward to understand why we have so much negative self talk. And I'm just going to throw it out there. We all go through it. But Pastor Craig Groeschel went on to say this: why do you do what you do? And then why do we continue to do the same things over and over and over again? He went on to say this: there's secondary reasons and there's a primary reason. He said there's three secondary reasons on why we continue to do things over and over and over again. The first one is that we feel obligated to do it. The second is because we want to do it. And the third is because we want to be accepted. Now, let's think about this in a sales-centric way for a moment. How many of us do the things that we do because we want to be accepted inside our company, inside the sales bullpen, and then out into the community and how we interact with our clients? But then Pastor Craig Groeschel goes on to say this: there's a primary reason why we do all this. And this is interesting. Key in on this. He goes, you do what you do because of what you think of you. You do what you do because of what you think of you. Then he goes on to say this: our identity and how we see ourselves drives our behavior. We do what we do because of what we think of you. And oftentimes, right, and I'll hit the negative self-talk, these vice grips hold on to things just like that. And I will tell you this: negative self-talk has driven me down some really, really, really dark paths. And it's only through self-reflection and it's only through working on me that I've been able to really come to grips with this and work on it. I'm going to ask all of you this week, whether you're a sales leader or sales professional, why do you do what you do? How do you think of you? And change how you think of you. And a lot of this is self-reflection and willing to do the inner work. And I'm a big believer in this: the inner work you do, and I'll go one step farther, the inner work you do on your heart might just be the hardest thing you do, but I'm here to tell you this: it's the most rewarding thing you can do. I love what Pastor Craig Groeschel went on to say in his message. He goes, if you want to change what you do, change the way you think of you. If you want to change what you do, change the way you think of you. Furthermore, he went on to say this, and this is an eye-opening mirror moment for a lot of us. Your distorted identity starts to sabotage your success and your progress. He then went on to say, then you put on that fake face because you think you're not worthy. How many of us have done that? I'm throwing my hand up. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. He then went on to say, your distorted identity creates destructive habits, and your destructive habits reinforce your destructive identity. So this week, what would it mean to you if you worked on you? And some of y'all might be going, well, what do you mean by that, Larry? Spend 30 minutes of alone time. Self-reflect. Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want to become? Why am I doing what I'm doing? It could be the most powerful 30 minutes that you can ever have with yourself. But I'll leave you with this, and I think this was the most powerful part, and there was a lot that Pastor Craig Groeschel had said, is he goes, think of who before do. Instead of focusing on what to do, focus on who you want to become. Who you believe will determine what you do. Who you believe will determine what you do. Focus on what you want to become. This week, focus on who you want to become. I sincerely thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me this week. I appreciate and I'm super grateful for the community that we are building together. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to bring authenticity, integrity, and trust back into the sales profession. I do this because I give a rip about the sales profession. Let's all unite together and bring this back into the sales profession. Why is it so important? It's important because your clients and your future clients, they'd rather connect and do business with a sales professional who sells from the heart as opposed to a sales rep who is an empty suit. Y'all have an amazing week.